Explanation of Reptilians. March 6, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. I have a Yellow Labrador Retriever. Somewhere back in his canine family history there were sporting dogs known as pointers. These dogs developed the talent of pointing at game, especially birds, that we humans were too dull to perceive. The pheasant is over there. Dummy. Pointers do this by coming to rapt attention when they detect the prey and by lifting their foreleg in the direction of the bird. Well, my dog isn't a pointer, he's a purebred retriever, and his job is to go out and fetch the pheasant after my husband shoots it, but when he is in the field, my dog still points when it suits his instincts. He will come to attention and lift his foreleg just like his pointer ancestors, even though that isn't his job anymore. In the same way, perfectly sane and mild-mannered dachshunds, even miniature dachshunds, will go stark crazy when confronted with a badger. They were bred and designed to do so, and yes, they will attack a badger whenever and however they happen to come upon one, no matter how many generations of their own family have sat on laps and sprawled on cushions in drawing rooms. This imprint, fight badgers, has been as deeply ingrained in them as a mongoose's instinct to fight snakes. It should be no surprise to us that in ages past, eugenics programs that selected certain traits for certain purposes, have resulted in similar imprints on our genomes. It's just such an outrageous thought, that we have been bred like dogs in the past, that we don't see what is in front of us. I have described the ancient Aryan Orion caste system that predates the Hindu caste system. It was basically three castes that had three functions: the priests, the soldiers, the merchants, and everyone else was casteless without any particular breeding or special function. It should not surprise anyone, if you stop and think about it, that after generations upon generations of selective breeding, the priests should have special characteristics and the soldiers should have special abilities and quirks, and the merchants, too. They are all as recognizable as pointers and retrievers, if you pay attention. The scions of the ancient military caste are what we call reptilians today. They have a characteristic smooth-skinned, strong-jawed, thin-lipped, heavy-shouldered, massive breast-boned, long-shinned, sharp-eyed look. Think of the young George Herbert Walker Bush and you will have a good idea of the type. Even today, you will sometime find individuals who have double eyelids, the usual eyelid of skin, and an extra clear eyelid that protects their eyes from UV radiation and projectiles. There were two subdivisions within the military caste, the officers and the foot soldiers. I have just described the officer corps in this ancient system. The foot soldiers are much heavier in build, taller, more massive, with thick bones and big hands and loud voices. Think of Mike Pompeo, a guy who can be heard above the din of battle. Just like my dog who remembers how to point, these people instinctively know how to make war, how to organize armies and similar activities, how to analyze strategic objectives, how to deploy armaments, how to attack things, how to survive. It's all just part of their inbred imprinting. If they sense a vacuum of power and there is no priest to fill it, they will automatically step forward and try to save the day, by taking command and control. The problem is that without members of the priest caste to guide them, they consistently lose their moral compass, which is not their strong suit by any means. That, too, has been bred out of them, to enable them to do the horrible things that must be done on battlefields. Almost all the members of the U.S. Congress come from these ancient military caste backgrounds, either officers or foot soldiers. Left to themselves, they make war, because that is what they are imprinted to do. Without war, they feel that they don't have a purpose in life and they react badly to this. They often feel lost and alone as little kids, but they put a brave front on this and wait, like my dog waits, for the next time they can take the field. So, it isn't really that reptilians are evil per se, but they are adrift without the priest caste to direct them, at a loss, like a dachshund without a badger. Moral principle and self-direction were never their strong suits, so they aren't good in civilian leadership positions. They tend to be easily corrupted by power and baubles and don't grasp the longer-term impacts of things they do on a tactical basis, which is why the priests traditionally held power over the military just as the Brahmins hold power in India today. With most of our Congress being occupied by these military caste reptilians, it is easy to see why there is such a constant focus on war, 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 and more war. It's also easy to see what the scions of the merchant caste, the second most populous members of Congress, have a hard time dealing with or controlling them. The merchants like to talk and make deals, but they are not, generally speaking, men or women of physical action, and they are not used to giving commands. This gives them a great disadvantage when they are trying to exert influence over the military caste, which naturally disrespects them as a necessary evil. Where, you may ask, are the priests? Surely, if the soldiers and merchants have survived, complete with their genetic imprinting, the priest caste must have survived, too? Yes, but the problem with the priests is that left to themselves with nobody to recognize who they are or to train them to their natural duties, they tend to be unfocused and disinterested in anything as mundane as controlling armies and regulating business practices. They hate politics with an inborn passion, take command for granted, and are surprised when nobody recognizes who they are. Perhaps a little disappointed, but not at all deterred, they go wandering off to study things like philosophy and the taxonomy of plants, peer through telescopes, and contemplate the mysteries of God. The priests by nature are otherworldly, disinterested in practical, mundane day-to-day things, and couldn't give a fig for money or power, which they don't seek, because they are attuned to peaceful coexistence. If and when they march, it's to a different drummer. Yet the priests are supposed to be the leaders and guides responsible for all the rest. So what emerges with respect to the energies, imprinting, and nature of these ancient castes, all which are still operating under the surface of things, is a picture of disorganization, people either abdicating the powers that they are supposed to exercise, the priests, or attempting to fill a vacuum and wield powers that are foreign to them, the soldiers, or weaseling around pulling shady deals because there's nobody else preventing it, the merchants, which includes bankers. The missing link in this picture is the priestly caste, which is still largely lost in daydreams and scientific discoveries, absorbed in the patterns of mathematics and music, plumbing the depths of religious belief, quietly occupying university chairmanships and, to be honest, not paying attention while the world drifts to rack and ruin. Without a pre-existing and functioning social model to train them and assign them a duty and a place, the scions of the ancient priest caste wander around disconnected from the world that is falling apart around them. The Brahmins of the West have forgotten who they are, have abdicated their duty, and even if they do remember, the reptilian military caste is not likely to easily bow down and take direction. Thus in all ways we have to ask ourselves who we are and what we are designed for, and try to become self-aware of the truth, whatever it may be. There is nothing wrong with being a priest, a soldier, or a merchant. The craziness and evil results when soldiers try to be priests and merchants try to be soldiers, and everyone is trying to do something that they are naturally ill-suited for. With your eyes open to this ancient eugenics program and its results now exposed for your examination, start noticing what is right before your eyes. Regimented, either, or thinking, military caste. Creative, synoptic thinking patterns, priest caste. Practical, technical application thinking, merchant caste. Most of the populations of the Near East, Europe, North America, Australia, and Japan came from the Orion star system thousands of years ago. The castes were not just castes created from one basic population as they are in India today. The castes were actually based on different populations of humanoids with different genetic content, beings who were fundamentally different from each other in substantial ways, so different in fact that the priest caste had real difficulty mating successfully with anyone outside their caste. Pay attention, and just like my dog raising his foreleg and pointing, you will see the telltale vestiges of our own respective heritages on display. The daydreaming priests. The military, lost without a war. The merchants causing trouble because, left to themselves without proper regulation, they tend to cheat everyone for their own advantage. Do you recognize your world? Please consider making a small donation to help support Anna and the Living Law Firm, by visiting theamericanstatesassembly.net, scroll to the bottom and click on the Donate Now button. Thank you. If a donation is not possible, please create topic-specific playlists and share this important information with your social network. Thank you. If you enjoy having Anna's latest articles made into videos, please consider making a purchase from Ed's website sacredintuitiveelements.com. Thank you.